There we go. Let's start at a higher number. There we go. Oh, we're getting close now. So close. What? No freaking way. I think we're going to jump a few because this is taking forever. There we go. Yeah, we jumped more than a few. That's okay. Oh my goodness. Hey. What is up, everybody? How's it going? Some Guy Who Cooks here. And no, this is not an episode of Some Guy Who Cooks. This is the first ever Holiday Hangout. I see there's only one person watching right now, and that's perfectly fine, whatever. I'm sure more will jump in, even if they do. If they don't, no biggie. It's all good, guys. Because really, this is just about hanging out and talking about what's going on with the show. So, obviously, I'm doing fewer episodes this month. And y'all know that. I'm doing a couple live episodes and not much past that. A couple live episodes, 2 live episodes, 2 recorded episodes. So 2 more live, 2 more recorded. The next live is going to be this Saturday. The fall Saturday will be the next live after that. And then 2 recorded episodes will be posted that week. One of them on Friday because that is Christmas, Friday the 25th. So because there's fewer episodes this month, I don't want to leave y'all hanging. So I'm going to do some holiday hangouts as well, where we're just going to sit, chat, talk, whatever. I got started probably a minute ago. We'll go and round down to 7:35, and we'll go ahead and cut this around 7:50 or so probably. But what this is about. So I'm here to answer your questions. We're going to talk. We're just going to have a good time. And while we do, I'm going to enjoy this delicious steak, which I know it doesn't exactly have grill marks on it, and there's a good reason for that. The reason it doesn't have grill marks is because I didn't cook it on the grill. I sous vide cooked it for 24 hours. Actually, a little more than 24 hours. More like 26 or 27 hours. And then I did it in the cast iron skillet. So it's got a good crust on it, a great flavor. I accidentally dumped a little too much black pepper on it, and that sucks. But it's all good, guys. It'll be fine. So I'm going to enjoy this steak, and you guys are going to enjoy my company while I enjoy yours as well. So please, please, please go ahead. Oh, let's see here. Now I just turned the chat back on. I see Kay in here. Kay, to answer the question, the countdown is for the Holiday Hangout, which you are now a part of. And Crystal, don't just sing Christmas carols. Okay? Don't worry, I wasn't planning on singing any Christmas carols, actually. So this is all about you guys. So go ahead. This is meant for you to ask me questions. You can ask me for tips. You can ask me personal questions if you like. You can also request recipes that you want me to do in the future. All sorts of good stuff like that, okay? So we're just hanging out, and I'm enjoying a steak. The reason I'm enjoying a steak, I have an overabundance of steak in my freezer here at home, and there's a reason for that as well. That reason being, every time I buy steak, I tend to buy a little too much. I don't usually buy just one. Quite frankly, a lot of times you get more than one in a package. And sometimes I'll be like, you know what? There's no chance I'm eating all this before it goes bad, so I'll put some in the freezer, and then I forget about it. So, excuse me. Yes, exactly. What a terrible thing to have too much of. Steak. And yay, no Christmas carols, right? But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to be enjoying a bunch of steak this December and saving a little bit of money not buying a bunch of food because my fridge and freezer are pretty full of food right now. Food from stuff that I've cooked for you guys and food that's in the freezer because I made too much and put it in the freezer and then forgot about it. And my freezer is now pretty full. One of these days, I might have to. Personal questions, kind of dangerous. That's okay. It doesn't mean I'm going to answer all of them. But if you got some personal questions, go ahead. Have I ever thought of getting a food saver? You mean like what's it called? Like a vacuum sealer? Because I have a vacuum sealer, and that's what I use for sous vide most of the time. And the steak does last a year. So about that, Crystal, you're going to shiver in disgust, and I'm sure many people will. I've had steaks that lasted more than a year. In fact, I found a steak once in my freezer, in the back of the freezer, that had been in there for about 4 years. And I knew it was going to taste horrible and freezer burn, but I decided to try something. So I went ahead and I made sure all of the water that was in there, all the ice crystals and everything, I left all that on there, didn't wipe any of it off. I put the whole thing into a vacuum seal bag with a little bit of butter and some salt and pepper, and I sous vide cooked it for a day, and then I took that and I smoked it on the grill. I did not taste even a hint of freezer burn. So that may be something. So yes, I do have a vacuum sealer. So that may be something that I do in a future episode, is talk about how to save stuff that's been in the freezer for too long. Some of it you can't, I'm sure. But some of it you can. And I've made a steak successfully that wasn't ruined from being in the freezer for too long. And here we go to answer Kay's question. Are you liking the sous vide? I'm sure it's spelled wrong. Actually, oh, you're very close. Drop that first U. SOUSVIDE. There's the sous vide. And yes, I do enjoy it. It's fantastic for certain things. Like this, you can slow cook a steak for a day, and the longer you put it in there, the more tender it's going to get, really. And gosh, I haven't even cut into this guy yet, but I need to. So, ooh, my light fell a little bit there. So what I've got here, though, I've got a porterhouse, which let me know if you know the difference. What's a great idea? Sorry, we're not on quite the same time. Yeah, thanks. But anyway, I've got a porterhouse, and in case you don't know the difference between a porterhouse and a T-bone, they're both basically from the same cut of beef. The difference is where on the loin you're getting it. T-bone is going to be closer toward the end, where you're not going to have a lot of the fillet. A porterhouse is just a fancy word for fillet and strip still on the bone. And it is probably my favorite cut of beef. That and the ribeye are very, very close. Oh, yes. How to save food. Yeah, no, absolutely. No problem. They're very close. Okay. For me, at least. But anyway, if I see a great deal on a porterhouse, you bet your bottom dollar I'm going to get myself a porterhouse. And this is a big, thick cut, really nice one. It smells fantastic. Now, here's how I did this one, guys. I didn't just sous vide. You can just drop it into that vacuum seal bag as it is if you like, and it'll do great. However, I wanted to do something a little bit different. So what I did, and take a look at that. It doesn't display the best, but smells wonderful. I'm going to cut off a little bit of that fat cap. Some people don't. I don't prefer to eat a giant thing of fat, but I will chew on the fat later, which probably sounds gross, but here we go. That is good. Super tender, super flavorful. When I put it in the bag to sous vide cook it, I didn't just put it in there. I added some accent. I added some salt. I added a little bit of pepper. And I also added my steak butter. So steak butter is something I make. I think I made it for you guys once in a video. Maybe not. But it's essentially butter with black garlic and a couple different kinds of seasonings. So when you put that in that sous vide bag, all that flavor kind of soaks in and out of the meat, and it just gets it extra juicy, extra tender, and it's so good. It really is. And that's what happened with this. And here we have a fat piece. I'm not eating the whole thing. I'm just grabbing a little bit of that crispy from the outside edge. Yes. Okay, so Kay has another question here. Do you or have you tried an Instapot or the Ninja Foodie? Also looking into these ideas for Christmas gifts. I have used an Instapot, and Instapots are great. I haven't used the Ninja Foodie. That's I'll admit I don't even know what that is, but Instapots are wonderful. I used to love my rice cooker. Okay, and don't get me wrong, I still do. But the Instapot, if you've ever used a rice cooker, imagine a rice cooker, but better, okay? Instapot is like a rice cooker, but a little better because you also add that pressure cooking aspect. So you can do the slow cooking like with the rice cooker. You can cook rice, you can cook noodles and stuff like that. You can make a cheesecake in there if you want. But you can also pressure cook, which means, just to give you an example, if you've ever made beans from scratch, usually you have to soak the beans overnight for a full 24 hours, Well, 8 to 24 hours. With the pressure cooker from the Instapot, you can have fully rehydrated beans within a half hour, which is darn impressive. And I see that that Amber has said, hello. Hi, Amber. So the foodie can air fry as well. That's really cool. In response to that, I actually do have an air fryer now. I recently got it because it was on a great sale. I decided to try it out. And I actually have an episode I recorded to discuss it with you guys, but in the same line as an Instapot being a better version of a rice cooker, and an air fryer is very much a better version of a toaster oven. You soak beans anyway, Crystal. Yes, I do too, but I don't do it overnight anymore. I will. So how there's the quick method of soaking the beans, which is to boil them for like a couple hours. Instead of a couple hours, it takes a half an hour, and you have fully rehydrated beans. Now, I usually do it for a little less time than that, so they're not fully rehydrated, because I like to flavor them when I hydrate them. So I'll pressure cook them for a little while, pour out all that water, rinse them, put them back in, and then cook them the rest of the way with some chicken and beef stock to give them a little extra flavor. Yeah, good stuff. But where were we? What were we talking about? Oh, but yes. So this steak in particular, I used my steak butter when I put it in the in the sous vide water bath. And yeah, so that steak butter just provided a great flavor. When I took it out, I patted it dry. I poured all that butter and steak juice on the side. And yeah, and then I put on a little bit of salt, a little extra salt, a little extra pepper, and I fried it up in some bacon grease on the cast iron skillet. And once it was done frying up on the cast iron, I then plated it and poured on some of that butter and juice from the sous vide bag as sort of an au jus. That is so good. And right now, I'm on the strip side, not even on the filet side yet. So yes, Crystal, I do a few more steps than you do, it looks like. Amber, you made butter today. I'm not going to ask you to elaborate because I know you. Crystal, you soak beans starting bedtime and then cook the next day whenever. Yeah, so you can do that. Absolutely. And that's what I used to do until I got my Instapot. Now the thing takes care of it so quick. I do them same day. Happy Monday to you as well, Miss Hathaway. Huzzah! Glad to see you here. We're just hanging out right now. And I'm answering questions. Okay, in a jar with heavy cream. That's awesome, Amber. That's hey, homemade butter is awesome. It really is. Now, did you get it to where it was really light and slightly whipped, or did you go until it was solid butter? That there is the question. I await your answer very, very anxiously. Crystal, you are lazy. Nothing wrong with that. In most situations, at least. Now, normally, I'll go back and forth between strip and fillet side of the steak, but this is just so good. This is just so good. I can't stop. I'm on this one side and I just can't stop. All right. I'm going to eat one piece with a little bit of the fat on. Or no, I'm not. Buttermilk for days. Am I going to work on my description words for my videos? Good question. Yeah, I'm going to work on it. So, descriptors of this steak. Here, we'll work on it right now. So, this steak is super tender. Like, it is incredibly tender. You can actually cut it with the fork. Just eat the steak. I am eating the steak. I'm enjoying it instead of wolfing it down. So it's really tender. It really is. You could really cut it with your fork. It's also incredibly juicy. And that is helped by the extra juice that I poured on at the end. Just, oh, it's so good. And then the salt, it doesn't taste salty. I don't know how to say it other than it doesn't taste salty. It tastes flavorful. Just a tremendous beef flavor there. Good evening, Karen. Yes, it does. And let me throw the whole thing here. Well, not a whole thing, but here we go. It's a wonderful steak, guys. And when I cooked it in the immersion circulator, I cooked it at 132. So the wonderful thing about sous vide cooking a steak is you can cook it to a precise temperature, which means if you stick it at 132, no matter how long you cook it in that, it's not going to cook past medium rare. Umami is a flavor in this. Yes, Crystal, umami is a flavor in this because I used a little bit of accent. Accent, for those of you who are unfamiliar, is MSG, monosodium glutamate, which has a bad stigma, but there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's actually great for cooking. It has less sodium than actual salt, which is impressive, All it does is, like I said, add a tremendous flavor. So you have that slight umami. You have that little bit of, the salt just adds flavor. It really does. You have a great beefy flavor that is expanded and compounded by the salt without it tasting like you're eating a salt lick. Then you've got the little bit of pepper, just a hint of pepper, even though I accidentally poured on more than I meant to because the top fell off while I was pouring the pepper on. I was able to save it, though. So every now and then you get a little hint of that cough, cough, too much pepper. And yes, I agree, Crystal, bread makers are a pain in the butt. I don't use them when I make bread. I just freeform and do it in the oven. But yes, so that little bit of flavor is awesome. What else we got here? I didn't use any garlic powder or onion powder like I usually do, a little bit, but I did use, like I said, my steak butter. Now, my steak butter is something else. It is butter with black garlic. I make a black garlic compound butter for my steak butter. And then I will add a little bit of garlic and onion powder, plus a little bit of that MSG, that accent, and a few other things. Some companies put sugar and salt. That is weird. See, I always just go for the plain salt that is 100% salt with, well, not 100%, but it's salt with iodine. In case you didn't know, the reason we have iodine in our salt is to prevent disease, actually. It's something that salt didn't used to be iodized, but the government started putting it in there because, how else are you going to get people to consume iodine? You don't need much iodine in your diet, but you do need a little bit, and nobody really knows that. And nobody really consumes iodine just because. So the government started requiring they put in salt so that people would consume it. So that's where you get your iodine in your diet, is from your salt. That's why you'll see iodized salt. It doesn't change the flavor profile at all, and there's not that much of it. It actually helps you. So another bite of awesome steak. So I've got something I want to run by you guys, okay? Coming up, we have a new year, and I have some new ideas for the show. Now, naturally, I'm still going to keep doing my thing. I'm going to keep making episodes. I'm going to keep talking to you guys. Keep having a good time. That's the key. But I have an idea, and I was thinking it could be really cool, and this is kind of inspired by the fact that I am going to be eating so much steak this month. I was kind of inspired by that. I was thinking, how cool would it be to do themed months or weeks? Yes, exactly, Crystal. It helps prevent goiter, the iodine. But I was thinking about doing themed months or weeks in the show. So you might have a burger month or a burger week versus like a steak week or a steak month. That would allow me to give you a bunch of different recipes for different kinds of burgers, steaks, casseroles, etc. And I think that could be a lot of fun. I want to know what you guys think about that, if you would like that idea. Hot chocolate bombs. Amber, you're going to have to explain. I think I've heard of those. I've just never made them. That could be a good episode, actually. Something I've never made. Proving that anybody can make it. All right. So far, it looks like you guys like that idea of doing the themed weeks and months. Sounds good. Agreed. That sounds like a good idea. Love that idea. Thank you, guys. I think that'll be a lot of fun, and it'll mean, if I do it for a whole month, it'll mean a whole month where I'm just like, well, at the end of the month, well, guys, I'm tired of burgers now. But then again, I don't see myself getting tired of burgers or steaks. So one idea I had in regard to that, or rather a similar idea. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you the similar idea. I want it to be a surprise because it's one I am going to do. So, hot chocolate bombs. Hollow chocolate shell filled with hot chocolate mix and mini marshmallows. I mean, sounds pretty good to me. Do you drop it into hot milk or something, or hot water? All I know is it sounds delicious, and I might be inclined to bite into it by accident. Sorry for being so messy and stuff, guys, but when you got a good steak, I hope you don't mind me licking my fingers now and then. It seems kind of natural to do when eating something like this. Hot milk. Okay, Amber, hot milk. That's what you put it in. I'm all about that life. All right, guys. We have finished the strip side. Time to move on to the fillet side. Very cool, Karen. Very cool indeed. And thank you for the suggestion, Amber. So, on to the fillet side. Once I finish the fillet side, guys, we are done with the Holiday Hangout. So if you've got more questions, hey, Grey Wolf, you're in here. Huzzah! Welcome to the show. What you've missed so far, I'm consuming a delicious steak. It's wonderful. We're talking about the future of the show. You like the themed week and the chocolate bomb. Fantastic. So you're a little bit caught up. Very good. I have one more side of this steak to finish. I have the fillet side, which means you guys have. What beverage have I paired the steak with? I actually haven't paired it with anything, but I do have a pretty decent pairing here with me. That being whiskey, specifically bourbon. Of course, if you know me, you know I love bourbon, and bourbon is great with a good steak. I'm not sharing it with anyone, so, whatever. Anyway, you have until I finish this steak to continue to ask questions, guys, okay? So, ask away, whether you want to make a request or... How's it going, Eric? I see you joined in. Huzzah, good to see you here. Amber. How dare you? Do I use A1? No! A good steak does not need any sauce. I thought I knew you better. Which is my favorite side of the steak to eat, Karen? I like them both a lot. When it comes to a porterhouse, I really do like both sides. They're fantastic. The strip and the fillet both have pluses and minuses to them. I think my favorite really is the ribeye, though. It's very close, but I love a good ribeye. I really do. Crystal, go away. Never say ketchup and steak again. Okay. Okay, we got a bunch of comments coming in here. Okay. Good on burgers too. I might put A1 on a burger, okay? I'm pretty purist with burgers too, but I might put A1. I do like A1, but I'm never gonna put it on a steak. Never. Karen agrees that ribeye is the best cut. Thank you, Karen. Everything needs ketchup. I guess. Maybe. Let's see. Christmas Eve or sometime before. When you had your first real kiss. Oh, that's going very personal. Oh my. Well, I might answer that in a bit. We'll see. Might leave you guys wondering. Maybe go ahead and give it some guesses if you like. All right, but it's time to cut into the fillet side here. And I'm going to tell you, Karen, to answer your question tonight, I'll go ahead and tell you once I've had a bite of this fillet side, I'll tell you which one I like more of the two sides of this particular steak. I can tell you right now, I don't even need the knife to cut this. I really don't. It's just falling apart. So, yeah. It is actually falling apart. It really is. And there's some decent intramuscular fat in this too. Bottoms up. Mm. Mm. Oh, good heaven. Good heavens. That side wins tonight. Eric, everything is good with whiskey. You are a whiskey lover. Then I have a whiskey that you need to try. And just so you know, Crystal, I know Eric very well. We actually work together. So, all natural is best for food. Grey Wolf, I couldn't agree more. But yes, in regard to the whiskey, Eric, I've got a bunch of really nice bourbons that I picked up from Kentucky about a year ago. And there are a few that you need to try. Amber, yes, my name is Brett. However, he knows me as Mike because Mike is my on-air name on the radio. Ta-da! So, but yes, Eric, you may have to one day try one or two of those. My favorite bourbon in the world is actually from Kentucky. It's a little outside Lexington. It's called Three Boys. It's from the Three Boys Distillery. Yeah, it's their bourbon, as well as their rye. Their bourbon and their rye are my two favorites. So, WTF, mate? But what's that about, Amber? Does he know my middle name? I don't know if Eric knows my middle name or not. Bring some in tomorrow. Ooh, Eric, it is a very special bottle. We'll see. I stole Mike's name. No, I didn't steal it. I had it since before I even knew him. That's my other name. You learned about me because of Mike. Mind blown. Pecu. Well, you guys don't have to worry about that because I never go as Mike outside of work unless it's someone I know from work. So, you don't have to worry about that. Oh, my goodness. This is a fantastic steak, though. Seriously. For real. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I'm going to cut the fillet side into smaller pieces because I want to enjoy it longer. Oh, yes. The only thing that I think could make it better is if I smoked it. And I've done that before. And, I love doing a steak on the charcoal grill. The charcoal does wonders to it. But this flavor is amazing. It's savory. Meaty. You got... that. And you lose your words. And you don't really have a desire to talk. You just want to let it sit on the back of your tongue. That. It evokes tremendous emotions. I'm savory. You're not wrong. You're going to randomly call me Mike now. Whatever. I'll probably still respond. It looks delicious. It tastes delicious. And then I'm going to have to chew all the meat off of the bone here, but I'm going to do that after I say bye. And Crystal, you can dare me all you like to use ketchup, but I'm not. I'm not. Never. Ever. Just no. No. That would be a travesty. It would be a crime against nature. What's your full nom de plume, or is it just Mike? So it's Mike Harris is my on-air name. Mike Harris. My full regular name, Brett Harrison Picorni. So the story about how I got my name on air, actually, that kind of, brings up that. I was with the station for about a year, and I still didn't have a name. And I was about to do my first live broadcast on location. I have. Delicious. I was about to do my first live broadcast on location. I had trained a few times for it, and mine was coming up. It was at a bar. It was at Lucy's downtown in Gainesville for a Yingling remote or Budweiser remote. Actually, I think it was a Budweiser remote. We were in the back, right by the pool tables. It was loud. It was raucous. It was a lot of fun. And I was giving stuff away, and I was doing a live broadcast. So that broadcast was the following day. So that day, I come into the office, and the front desk person says to me, "Hey, Mike." I'm like, that's weird. Okay. I put something in the fridge and walk back out, and someone else comes up. One of the DJs walks up and goes, "Oh, hey, Mike." I'm just like, there's an email about this. Sure enough, there was an email about it, and voila, it was Mike Harris. Now, where the name actually came from, we had talked about possible names and things like that, and I remember the owner of the station saying that he liked the name Harrison, my middle name, but that it was too long. So he kind of pulled from that a little bit. That day, the guy who was training me, his name's Alan, great dude, Alan Levy. He said to him, he goes, Corny still doesn't have a name, right? He goes, yeah. So he goes, so his first remote broadcast is tomorrow. He goes, oh, meeting. Calls everyone in a meeting. At that time, I wasn't coming in until 4 o'clock because I had the night shift. Calls everyone into a meeting, and I guess he pretty much just went, I don't know, what about Mike Harris? And they're like, yeah, okay. And that was it. So, yay. It is what it is. But yeah, that's my on-air name, guys. Now you know that. Kind of how I got it. Wasn't a super spectacular story, I know, but it is what it is. I do love a good steak. Now, I am nearing the end of this steak, you guys. So if you have any more questions, you ask them right now, and I may or may not answer. We'll see. You're welcome for sharing that with you. Charles, because he looks like Charles Manson. Oh, my. Oh, that's fine quality. Like I said, if you got any requests, hit me up. I know, Amber, you requested the hot chocolate bomb. I might have to try that. Crystal, I may have to make tomato jam now. It's because that stuff is delicious. It's it's super good, especially with bruschetta. What if I inbox you the answer, Crystal? Would that be cool? This isn't the best whiskey, but it's not bad. It's a little harsh. But it has a great flavor. It really does. It's called Legend. And let's see here. Blended and refined by chief blender Shinji Fukuyo. So yeah, partially finished in wine and sherry casks. How cool is that? Yeah. It is a pretty nice whiskey, so yeah. You have to get rid of your whole wheat flour. Well, I'll have to come up with a good whole wheat bread recipe for you then. Dill. What about dill? Saying like a dill bread? Guys, I have one final bite. You ready? Oh. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, I lied. 2 final bites because there's one more right here. It's just connected to a lot of fat. I'm gonna small bag. Oh, deal, not dill, deal. Gotcha. Okay, Amber, I'll message you too if you really want to know. But here we go. This is the final bite. I'm gonna use my hands because why not? Oh yeah. There's some of that extra pepper that fell out of the container, but it's good. That was the last bite. Shoe size 14. Yep, 14. Whole bag. My bad. Hey, I'll be happy to help you find some ways to make it. I wonder how a whole wheat. And actually, Amber, I'm 6'4". I'm actually the runt in my family. 6'4", size 14 shoe. I have the smallest shoe size as well. My twin has about a ½ inch on me, and he wears a size 16. My older brother Doug is 6'8". He wears a size 20. Brad is 6'8", and he wears, I think, an 18. And yeah, you can put the flour in the freezer to make it last longer. That's true. But guys, that's it. That's the whole steak, the whole shebang. You're 5'2". I got 1'2" on you, Amber. 1'2". Oh, I have to wonder. If you could make a whole wheat starter for what's it called? For making like sourdough. I'll have to look into that. That would be really cool if you could make a whole wheat starter. I can't see why not. Well, I'll do some research on that and we'll figure it out. If you can, then I'll let you know. In the meantime, guys, much love. Only short person. Much love. I appreciate all of you being here. Everyone who jumped in and jumped out, or who is still here. Everybody, and everyone who's going to watch it later. Thanks for being here, everybody. It means a lot. As always, like, subscribe, hit that little bell if you want notifications every time I go live or submit a video. I'm going to be doing a few live videos this month, just like this one, where we can hang out, just chat, shoot the you-know-what, and have a good time. I'll probably enjoy a steak or something else. Yeah, you don't have to be sorry about being late. I didn't tell anybody I was doing this. It was just an utter surprise. You can make a whole wheat sourdough starter. Then, you know what? That's what I'd probably do. 13-year-old son taller than you. I do not have a 13-year-old son. But anyway, much love, guys. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to share this with your friends. Let them know. I'll see if I can give a little more notice next time before I go live. So until next time, I'll see y'all later. You have yourselves a wonderful night. I might take a nap or just go straight to bed. I got a few things I'll take care of before I go to bed. But yeah, good seeing y'all. And thanks once again. Take it easy, everybody.